Welcome to VoiceBootcamp, a global name in unified communication. Hi, my name is Faisal Khan, Cisco collaboration instructor at voicebootcamp.com. In this video, we're going to talk about database element of CVP Call Studio. The database element provides you the ability to execute an SQL command to an external database within a voice application call flow. Now, this element requires you to have some sort of connectivity, a way to connect to the database, and that method is called a JNDI, which is to be configured in a Java application server to handle database connections. Now, in order for you to use a JNDI, you need to have a JDBC driver that for the particular database that you're trying to use. If you're using a Microsoft SQL Server, for example, you would need to download the SQL Server database from Microsoft website. Now, I'll show you where to go and download that by from a JDBC driver, the most latest one. But you also need to make sure that you have the appropriate Java runtime engine or SDK installed on the CVP where this where this VXML application will run. Now, when there are multiple ways to handle your connectivity with your database. You could have a single statement, only a single statement can be executed per element. So if you are trying to use a database element, for example, here, that element can only do either select all the records, it can either do insert or update, but not all three together. So it has to be one element for one purposes. Now, there are four type of command that can be made from that element. You got single element, which is used to run a SQL query that returns only a single row. Now, this would be very useful, especially, for example, if you're looking for a record that only has one record for that particular customer. An example would be looking up the record based on the customer ID. Now, obviously, that customer will only have one unique ID. Therefore, it will only return the one single row for that. And the element data will be created with a variable name. So what happens is when you use a single statement, it's going to create an element data based on the column name that is returned from the database. So if the database has a column name str, first name, str, last name, then it will create an element data with that. Although you cannot see that in the configuration, but if you do use something like data.element